Alright, and welcome to 6-2.5 Circle Review. Now, given IF bisects GH, we are first given this information right here. What does that tell us? It's telling us that if IF is bisecting GH, it means it's cutting GH into two congruent segments. What does that tell me? Well, it tells me if GJ, if this segment right here is 5, then JH must also be 5. Now from here, what type of problem am I dealing with? Well, we could say that these are segments formed by chords. Now they could be chords or diameters, but as long as the lines, both lines, are completely contained within the circle, we really have this formula. We can say, you know what, IJ times JF will actually be equal to, and notice here, you know what, I'll show you that line is in purple. So that line, IJ times JF, must equal GJ times JH. Okay? Or you can think of it as part times part is equal to part times part. Now from there, all you would have to do is go ahead and plug in the numbers. So for example, we know that IJ is going to be 3.2 times JF, which is, we don't know. Let's go ahead and give that the letter X, times X is equal to, and of course GJ is 5 times JH, 5. Now I will leave you to solve this problem, alright, because you're going to find out what does X equal. The last thing is it says find the length of IF. Notice IF is this whole line. We could say IF is equal to 3.2 plus X. So don't forget that to finish this problem, you'll have to take that and plug it in. Alright, let's move on to our next example. Okay, here we have problem number 2. Alright, problem number 2. And for problem number 2, let's go ahead and say this. Find the length of GH. So we want to find the length of, we want to find the length of GH. Let's see. We could even label this as like that, and we'll say, you know what, we're looking for that whole line. When given IJ, let's just go ahead and put these in piece by piece. IJ is 5x minus 6. And let's use a different color to represent each one of these. You can't really see it there. It says JF is equal to 17. So, okay, JF is equal to 17. And GJ is 3x minus 2. So let's see, GJ, that line right there, will be 3x minus 2. And lastly, we have JH, which we can go ahead and say that will be equivalent to 20. Now, the one thing we really don't see here is, well, no, we have everything labeled. So let's go ahead and write out our formula. We could say this. We could say that IJ, part 1, times what we have here in purple, JF, is equal to GJ times our last remaining number, JH, or our last remaining segment, JH. And from there, it's really easy to see once we plug these things in. We have this, we have 5x minus 6 times JF 17 is equal to 3x minus 2 times JH, which is 20. Now, if I were going to rewrite this, though, in a way that you would really understand, the way that I would really rewrite this is I would write 17 parentheses 5x minus 6 close parentheses is equal to 20 parentheses 3x minus 2. I think that would be the easiest way for you to understand it. And remember, your very first step is that you must distribute. And you'll actually wind up distributing on both sides. Lastly, all I would say is this. I would say that GH is actually equal to 3x minus 2 plus 20. So whatever you find for x, you must plug it into that formula to find your final answer. Alright, let's move on. Number 3. Given the circle and chords below, find the length of IF when given IJ. So let's do this one line all in one color. I think that's a little bit more helpful. IJ is 3 inches and JF is 4x minus 2. And then in our other color here, we know that GJ will be 2 and JH will be 5x plus 4. And notice we're asked for the length of IF. They want us to find the length of IF. So in this case, we want to know this whole thing right there. Alright, well, all I'm going to do is just help you set up the initial letter statement, and I'm actually going to let you finish off the rest. So what could we say here? We could say that part 1 IJ times part 2 JF must be equal to GJ times JH. Now I leave y'all to finish it off from there, but that is how you would set it up. Okay, let's take a look at problem number 4. It says find the measure of arc DE. So guys, notice that arc DE is right here, and we actually have what's called a vertex on the circle. Okay, so when we have a vertex on the circle, we should know that our formula is the measure of angle 1 is equal to 1/2 times arc x. Now ask yourself, what is the 117? Well, when it's at the vertex, it must be the angle. So we have 117 is equal to 1/2 arc x. Now I will go a little bit further on this one just because I want to remind you of our trick. Remember, when getting rid of 1/2, all we have to do is multiply both sides times 2, and that will give us our final answer. Alright, I'll leave y'all to finish this problem. Let's move on. Okay, somehow the easiest problem of this section snuck its way to the end, but we will just want to simply find the value of x, which means we want to find the value of HD. Okay, so notice these lines are both contained within the circle, so we can simply say this. We could say that EH, the very first part, times its second part, HD, on the same line, is equal to FH times its second part, HG. Alright, I'll leave y'all to fill in everything and solve it from there. Let's move on.